The sovereign wealth fund of Qatar, a very wealthy nation, is looking to buy $500 billion worth of Bitcoin, according to rumors released by Max Keiser. In fact, Max is saying that the Bitcoin price action can see a daily God candle of $100,000 in a single day, sending the Bitcoin price action north of 143,000, tapping his short-term target of $220,000 per coin. Let's discuss what's going on with Qatar. And yes, the Qatar president did meet with Bukele. They've been talking about this for quite some time. This is well-known news, according to Max Keiser. So let's break this baby down. Here we go. Check it, check it. Key points. Qatar's sovereign wealth fund is rumored to be considering a $500 billion investment into the king. Let's frickin' go. Yes, the rumors have fueled the surge of the Bitcoin price. In fact, we're now up, hitting 44,000. It's on a hell of a run. Factors driving the Bitcoin rise include speculation of the lower US interest rates and optimism about the spot Bitcoin ETF apps, which are likely to be approved with a 90% chance of being approved in roughly, 35 days. If confirmed, Qatar's investment could have a profound implication for legitimizing and boosting Bitcoin. However, the rumors are currently unverified and caution is warranted given the volatility of the crypto market. But what's behind the sudden interest from one of the world's largest sovereign wealth funds, and what it could mean for the future of the pioneering crypto? Let's talk about it. Drivers behind Qatar's interest is known for taking a long-term strategic approach into investments. And as such, the reported interest likely stems from recognizing the long-term growth potential of Bitcoin as it continues cementing itself as the legitimate asset class. Qatar also surely sees the high upside potential as highlighted in Bitcoin's 4-year boom and bust market cycles, which we call the Bitcoin halving. So here's what started it off right here, December 3rd. And you heard it from here first because I covered it during our Pump Watch party. Max Keiser tweeted, the God candle, a $100,000 uptick in Bitcoin is in play. And that's so sexy, I'm gonna repeat it. The God candle, a $100,000 uptick in Bitcoin is in play. It will shift the global access of wealth and power in one tick. Send it and let's go. And he continues, check it. I have one word for you. $100,000 Bitcoin, God candle fans, Qatar. The rumors are getting very loud about this. Their sovereign wealth fund rumored to be looking to buy $500 billion worth of BTC. Now here's some actual photos of the president of Qatar with President Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, who laid out the blueprint. And of course, Max is the mastermind behind all this as he works very closely with Nayib Bukele. So for Max to share this rumor that he says everyone is aware of in the inside, there has to be some legitimacy to it because Max doesn't make up BS. Max is the real deal. Max is the one up over 20 million% on his Bitcoin investment, for Christ's sake, since 2011. So much respect to Max Keiser. Here's another photo when they flew in the president to meet Nayib Bukele, which is all documented as well. So this is a real story, fam. This ain't no pie in the sky. But back to our story here. Check it out. If confirmed, an investment of this size would represent a watershed moment for Bitcoin. Hell yeah. We're talking 1.3 trillion Bitcoin market cap. You know what I mean? Sending us north of $1 trillion, which is probably the height we hit back in November of 2021. It can spark a snowball effect. Well, let's get this snowball rolling with other major funds and major institutional investors quickly moving to grab a slice of the finite BTC. Now, potential impacts on a Bitcoin at a $500 billion investment would be over 10% of Bitcoin's total market cap and may be enough to single-handedly kickstart Bitcoin's next major market move. And we're already moving, fam. The price effects would be immense, likely triggering a frenzy amongst retail traders and speculators. It would also further legitimize Bitcoin in the eyes of the mainstream financial world and expedite formal regulation, which is a necessary step for even wider adoption. But needless to say, early Bitcoin investors would find their bets handsomely rewarded. You could say that again. How cool is it to front-run sovereign wealth funds and nation states? So congratulations, my Bitcoin hodlers. Proceeding with caution, however, promising. Investors should view the recent rumors with caution, so please do note that as well. We know Bitcoin is highly volatile volatile because Bitcoin and volatility is like life force, and the force is strong up with BTC. Just saying. And additionally, details on Qatar's plans are limited. The figure of 500 billion may be ambitious or unrealistic. Other sources also cast doubt on the reports. What are your thoughts? Qatar's sudden interest makes for an intriguing development with potentially significant impacts across global finance, but concrete details aren't here yet, but you will get them here first on Crypto News Alerts. But we have some more. We're not done. Here's some other coverage on Qatar's rumored 500 billion Bitcoin investment fueling a market frenzy. Seth shares right here. Let's open his tweet. He says, breaking news. Max Keiser reports of rumors of Qatar's sovereign wealth fund has entered the Bitcoin market and could be interested in purchasing up to 500 billion, which is a $500 billion worth of BTC. If this happens, Bitcoin will go further than 150,000 per coin. Hell yeah, that I can tell you. In fact, that's why Max Keiser is calling, and he's been calling for a while, 220,000 per coin. So yes, it can come a lot sooner than expected. And speaking of 500,000, even Bloomberg analysts just recently came out on the mainstream and said Bitcoin's likely to hit a super cycle this particular cycle and hit as high as $24,000 per coin. So 500 may be a lot more realistic than you're even thinking or considering. I mean, anything is possible at the end of the day, especially with the king, BTC. So here's the factors driving the price right now, why we're pumping. Check this out. The U.S. interest rate speculation, they're talking about potentially lowering the interest rates, and this is positive on the market. We also have the hopes of the spot ETF, which I've been talking about throughout the show. Again, the deadline date time frame is January 5th to the 10th, so only 1 month out. There's ongoing optimism about this, and we have BlackRock, we have Fidelity, collectively probably close to 25 trillion worth of major asset managers' assets could be allocating into Bitcoin. And I have some other to share with you as well. I just wanted to point this out as well here on the stream, that BlackRock in 2022 released a report, and I shared it maybe a few days ago on the show. I actually read the actual report. Their recommended Bitcoin portfolio allocation is 84.9%. Let that sink in for a minute. 84.9%. Safe to say 85. Can we say 85? So they're recommending that people allocate 85%, almost their entire portfolio, into Bitcoin. That's like a Ricardo Salinas move, because Ricardo Salinas, third richest man in Mexico, the majority of his portfolio is in Bitcoin, and he's straight up, Bitcoin has been his best investment of all time. What if the asset managers followed suit and actually taking their own advice? What if BlackRock has plans of allocating 85% of all their wealth eventually into Bitcoin? What do you think that would do to the price action? Thank you for the subscription. This is massive. 85%. And then if you continue reading the report, they said you could even use a levered position to get like 109%, which means trading with leverage. So you already know they're beyond bullish. BlackRock, Lawrence Fink, anything these guys want, they get. Their track record with the SEC is 575 to 1, which means they are rarely told no. That means Larry Fink is the boss. Gary's the golfer. Talking about Mr. Gensler, right? Anything they want, they're going to get. So you already know it's coming. They already started seeding the ETF. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That, my friend, is a fact. Let's get back to the story. See what else we got here to share with you. So check this out. Bitcoiner Max Keiser, the high priest that is, boasts of 20 million % profits in his Bitcoin holdings. Now, when Larry Fink sees these numbers, what do you think he's thinking? Should we park our fortune in gold? Gold is sitting at the same level it was a decade ago. It just hit a new all-time high and then immediately dumped, right? Because precious metal markets are massively manipulated. But check this out. Max is up 20 million % since 2011 with his Bitcoin. He was flexing on this guy. This guy is like, yo, why do some Bitcoiners act like spoiled brats about the gold price with Mad Max being the worst offended? I'm up 50% on my junior gold mining stock in 6 months. Like he's braggadocious over this 50% gain. Well, Max is like 50% gain, big dog. I'm up 20 million % since 2011 with my Bitcoin. So let that sink in. So these asset managers are not stupid. Every financial expert or president or person of power on the planet is aware of Bitcoin, and they're in Bitcoin, right? They're bullish on Bitcoin. Even Top G, where do you think he stores his $1 billion of wealth? in Bitcoin. And if you can read between the lines, it's easy to see, right? There's no second best. There is no alternative option whatsoever. So let me know your thoughts on that. And I actually want to read this to you. Check it out. Shout out to Max Keiser. He is the man, by the way. Prominent Bitcoin supporter and trader broker Max Keiser tweeted about his astonishing surge of profit in his Bitcoin bag. Keiser stressed that he has been hodling Bitcoin since 2011. Well done, Max, as he saw the massive hidden potential of Bitcoin to transform the world and started buying it 3 years after the first Bitcoin block was generated and 1 year after the Bitcoin creator, Satoshi, decided to disappear from the public. All hail Satoshi. Now, Keiser tweeted he's up 20 million%. Now, run the math. That means every dollar he invested in Bitcoin back in 2011 is up $20 million. So you run the math. If he only had $1 million worth of Bitcoin in 2011, you already know 20 million% times a million. Holy moly. Now, what if Max had like 10 million Bitcoin back then? You knew he was already a millionaire from Wall Street. He was gifting people like Alex Jones 10,000 Bitcoin like it was nothing. It's now worth over $400 million. So run the math. Keiser has never officially shared how much Bitcoin he owns. That's because he lost it all in a boating accident, of course. Now, following one of the basic security rules of the crypto space, not to boast of one's holdings on social media. Amen. And the bigger your stack becomes, the more obvious this will become common sense. But it is obvious that like many early Bitcoiners, Keiser owns quite a lot. And he has turned into a vocal Bitcoin maxi since then. That's right. He is the most toxic maxi Bitcoin ever. And that's a compliment. Now, check it. You had Alex Jones, who he was recently on the Alex Jones show. And Alex Jones is like, Max, I know you're sitting on top of 1 million Bitcoin. Now, hypothetically, if Max really did own 1 million Bitcoin, which is as much as Satoshi himself, and his holdings are now up 20 million%, you run the math, right? And when Bitcoin hits $1 million per coin, if you're holding 1 million Bitcoin like Satoshi, you're going to become a trillionaire. You're going to exceed all the wealthiest people on this planet. For real, right? Now, the price of Bitcoin has so far increased 106% since 2020. Oh, that's right. And gold has risen 16% up, of course, now that we just recently pumped. Keiser expects the Bitcoin God candle. This is, our breaking story we're going to tap into again. He says there is a real chance we see a God candle of 100,000 in one tick. You know what I mean? That means in a day. This expectation is based on the rumor of Qatar, their sovereign wealth fund, purchasing $500 billion worth of Bitcoin through their investment authority. The rumors are getting very loud, he says. There are sovereign wealth funds rumored to be looking to buy $500 billion worth of BTC. So things are getting very, very real. And in his unusual manner, Keiser, being a maximalist, also took a jab at the alts and gold, stating that both will continue trending towards zero against Bitcoin forever because Bitcoin is the apex predator, 100%. Now, we all know Bitcoin just surpassed Berkshire Hathaway, which is another major milestone as well, after it hit 42,000. And venture capitalist Anthony Pompliano believes that this was a rather triggered by the current state of the fiat currencies than the virtues of Bitcoin and gold as assets. Pompliano says the reasons for Bitcoin and gold price surges can be found in global liquidity and currency debasement. Besides, market participants are expecting the Federal Reserve to resume loosening their monetary policy, implementing quantitative easing, and being to cut down the interest rates. And even though Bitcoin has hit a major high this year, it is still trading roughly 40% below the all-time high reached back in 2021. I believe that day was November 10th. We smashed 69 Gs. However, Bitcoin has outperformed the investment fund led by legendary investment guru Warren Buffett, and Bitcoin's market cap continues pumping. So it's a beautiful sign. We know Charlie Munger, Mr. Buffett's right-hand man, just passed at age 99. He was going to actually turn 100 next month, but it seems he must have ate the Bitcoin in which he claimed was rat poison squared because he's no longer here. But hey, it is what it is.